I dreamed last night that my mother's doctor showed me how to euthanize her secretly so that I wouldn't get caught or suspected in any way. He explained to me that he couldn't do it because he would immediately be suspected and there would be repercussions. But he also said that that if I did it, if I did the process that he typically does, there's no way I would get caught because there's no way I could possibly know it. And so he showed me where her pain drugs were, in how they worked through the IV system, and he showed me a secret release valve that controlled the dosing and how to dismantle it. You know, I dismantled this piece of plastic essentially, and then I hit the button 3 times, and then I reassemble it, and then she just drift off peacefully. This tutorial came after I was asking him about her condition, and he explained to me that she was very confused and in a lot of pain. And I was lamenting how awful it is that we put our elderly population through this. Not that my mom is elderly. She's in her mid-late 60s. And by the way, this is a dream. This is not in any way reality. Her condition's bad, but it's not this bad. It was exaggerated in the dream, you know? So anyway, after I went on my little rant, he showed me, and then he said, you can do it anytime you like. And then somewhat smugly said that, you know, it's not so easy, is it? Like, now that you know, you can't unknow, and yeah, it's difficult to take that step. And certainly he was right, but I thanked him anyway, and I said that, like, I asked him if he would be in tomorrow night, and he said no, and I was like, well, I'll do it then. That way, if there is any fallout at all, you'll avoid suspicion. He was a little shocked by that, but also somewhat happy for me. And we had a little moment there, standing over my mother who was unconscious. And so, yeah, pretty bad dream, right? Pretty bleak. And I spent, an hour, just an hour after I woke up. I'd fallen asleep on the couch last night. I was watching Encounters on Netflix, which is genuinely a pretty good documentary about UFO experiences. And I laid there and I turned my face towards the wall and gently sobbed so as not to alert or disturb my family. And that was my morning. How's your morning? I'm sorry. It's been like that. The mornings are the worst. As I've mentioned in prior videos, everything I push down rises to the surface in my dreams, and I'm forced to contend with it. And, I believe what Sigmund Freud taught in the interpretation of dreams, that we're everyone in our dreams, that our dreams don't contain errant characters, that the only character is you. So I was, of course, me, having a conversation with me, the doctor, over myself, my mother, And once you have that framework, it's much easier to, it's like, interpreting dreams can feel like really wild and just basically like patchwork and guessing. But once you root it in the idea that you're everyone, that you're all these characters, and that what's happening is you are having a conversation with you to sort out something in between current events and past traumas, or both, you know? And once you have that starting point, it's really not very complicated. I think it's hilarious when you read the Old Testament, the Torah, and a lot of the prophets, Joseph and Daniel, spring to mind. Part of their magic is like that they can interpret dreams, and much of their interpretation, although it doesn't say it explicitly, is rooted in this idea, you know, like, and through the explanation of the dreams, that they're kind of interpreting in some magical way to like get to the next part of the story. You can see that that's sort of the framework that they're using, you know, and I think it's wild that some of these stories are, well, at minimum 2,000 years old, probably closer to 3 or even 4. That like ancient Hebrews knew this, you know? This like grand revelation of Sigmund Freud was readily available understanding within like the Levitican priest order, say, you know? And more to the point, he probably plagiarized it from them. It's possible he came to it independently. In fact, it's more than possible, because like he was a fucking smart guy, and it's not that crazy an observation. But also, he was famous. He was a deeply, deeply read man. Perhaps not as well read as Jung, but, you know, in that same ballpark. And it wouldn't shock me at all if the linchpin of his dream analysis was ripped right from the Old Testament. As upset as I was by the dream, because of its truly horrific content, and, you know, and my tender heart at these moments, between sobbing bits, I enjoyed thinking about this conversation between myself, you know? To what level am I capable and willing to be of service in my visit home? I do not expect to need to euthanize my mother. I mean, that would be a step too far. But it was nice to have a run in my mind where, like, what am I willing to do? Well, I'm willing to do whatever I have to, you know? I'm willing to do literally whatever it takes. And that's a great comfort to me. I sometimes think that's what dreams are. I guess I'm talking about dreams in this video. I was thinking I was going to end up talking about sad feelings. But, all right, I have a weird dream. I said weird dream about dreams. I have a weird idea about dreams. I think dreams are the mind co-ops the imagination and runs simulations to try out, to test dangerous ideas for our life, you know? And I've spoken in the past about how I went through a process to train myself to have lucid dreams, and how it was pretty disastrous. Lucid dreams, not as fun as you might think, can be pretty traumatizing, actually. But after that, I've always had very vivid dreams, and the vividness is what led me to this hypothesis. I think that if I'd never done the lucid dream thing, I would just think dreams are the brain's nonsense scramble, trying to create memories and getting confused. But I think we're actively running simulations to test out tough ideas. And that's how it felt this morning. Again, between my bouts of like extreme heartache and sobbing, I was thinking about the simulation and what purpose it served. And it's giving me confidence. It put me in a phantasmagoric, and tough situation, and forced me to make choices. Yeah? And I'm happy with them. But anyway, that's it. It's sunny out. The sun was beating down on me and I couldn't see where the video was. I thought I had 2 minutes left. I don't know why. I just think I didn't know how long and I picked an amount of time. Yeah, that's my theory anyway. The workout was simple. I overslept today, obviously. And so I just worked up to my minimum in the front squat and got my swings in. I did the swings ladder style, 1 through 6. And I did more work than that, as usual. But it wasn't anything to get excited about. This is Joe in real life. I love you guys. Thank you all for your continued support and attention. I have my little girl this weekend. The last time I'll have her before we go to Maine, and I'm really excited. I just want to indulge her. So we'll be doing that this weekend. I'll probably eat too much candy and feel bad. And that seems right. What else? That's it. Be good to each other, you know? Do your best to, at least. I know it's hard. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.